The 2017 Atlantic hurricane season was an extremely active season that featured some of the most devastating cyclones on record. It was a season that produced a total of 17 named storms, a whopping 10 hurricanes, and 6 major hurricanes. Note that a major hurricane is any hurricane that is category 3 to 5. Hold up. You might be wondering what the 2017 season has to do with the 2023 Atlantic hurricane season. Before I delve into it, ensure that you subscribe to my channel so that you never miss an important update on what is happening in the tropics. So the answer to the aforementioned question is, the same names used from the 2017 list will be used again in 2023, but with a few exceptions. The 2017 names were Arlene, Brett, Cindy, Dawn, Emily, Franklin, Gert, Harvey, Irma, Jose, Katia, Lee, Maria, Nate, Ophelia, Philippe, Rena, Sean, Tammy, Vince, and Whitney. But there were only 17 named storms, so there were no storms that formed after Rena, and hence the names that follow were unused in the 2017 season. Some of the tropical cyclones that developed brought trauma and devastating loss to many countries and their people. Hurricane Harvey devastated the northwestern Gulf Coast of the US with historic flooding in August 2017, resulting in over 100 fatalities, and is tied with Katrina as the costliest tropical cyclone ever to hit the US at over $125 billion in damages. Heading to the peak of the hurricane season in September, Hurricane Irma slammed through the northeastern Caribbean islands as a relentless Category 5 hurricane before moving through the Bahamas, then making its way into Florida. At one point, Irma was the strongest landfalling hurricane ever in terms of wind speeds outside the Caribbean and Gulf of Mexico. In all, Irma resulted in over 100 fatalities and over $70 billion in damages. Up next is Maria, which ravaged the Lesser Antilles and Puerto Rico as a major hurricane just around 2 weeks after Irma's vicious visit. Maria was the deadliest cyclone of the year and resulted in over 3,000 fatalities, 97% of that number in Puerto Rico. Another hurricane that wasn't as strong but still did a number on the US and Central America was Nate in early October. Nate was only a tropical storm at the time, but the unrelenting rains that the cyclone unleashed caused extensive flooding in Costa Rica and Nicaragua before racing to the Gulf Coast of the US, making landfall as a Category 1 hurricane. In all, impacts from Nate resulted in nearly 50 fatalities and over $700 million in damages. Those storms were absolutely catastrophic, and due to the devastation each caused, those 4 names were retired and will never be used again for Atlantic tropical cyclones. They were replaced with names of the same letter and gender in early 2018. Harvey was replaced with Harold, Irma with Idalia, Maria with Margot, and Nate with Nigel. So that means that this is the new list and will be used this year. But you might still have some questions, such as, why is the same list being used? Well, the lists are reused every 6 years unless a storm name was retired and replaced, as we saw just now. 2017 was 6 years ago, and it will be the same list with the replacement names for those that were retired. So I hope that this explanation has been transparent, but if you have any questions, be sure to leave them in the comments and let me know if your name is on the list for this year. Goodbye for now, and remember to always be weatherwise.